There is a profound transformation occurring within you, one that your person is sensing even across the distance that currently separates you. The silence that exists between you, whether imposed by circumstances, by choice, or by the universe's divine timing, has not been empty or wasted. Instead, it has become the very crucible in which your inner power has been forged. Your person is becoming acutely aware that this silence has changed you, and in changing you, it has changed everything. They remember a time when you were more available, perhaps more eager to connect, more willing to bridge the gaps they created through their own hesitation and fear. But now, something is different. The silence has settled around you like a mantle of sovereignty, and they can feel it. You are no longer chasing, no longer begging, no longer diminishing yourself to fit into the small containers they once offered you. This evolution has not gone unnoticed. In fact, it has become magnetic in ways they never anticipated. Your person is watching from afar, and what they see both awes and unsettles them. The strength radiating from you now is not the strength of resistance or anger. It is something deeper, more rooted, more unshakable. You have discovered that your worth does not depend on their recognition of it, and this realization has made you irresistible. They are beginning to understand that the game has changed, that the old dynamics no longer apply, and that if they want to be part of your life, they must rise to meet you at this new frequency. This silence has taught you the power of your own presence, and your person is learning that lesson too, albeit the hard way. They are realizing that your energy was never something they possessed, it was always something they were privileged to witness. Now that the privilege has been paused, they are desperate to earn it back. Beneath the surface of their everyday life, beneath the distractions and obligations they use to numb the ache, your person is carrying a plea that grows louder with each passing day. They want another chance, not the kind of chance that simply resumes where things left off, but a true opportunity to love you the way you always deserved to be loved. The way they failed to love you before. This desire is not born from convenience or loneliness, though they experience both in abundance. It emerges from a deep, soul-level recognition that they squandered something sacred. They are haunted by memories of your patience, your understanding, your willingness to see the best in them even when they showed you their worst. They remember the moments when you reached out and they pulled away, when you offered vulnerability and they responded with walls, when you asked for commitment and they offered excuses. The weight of these memories has become unbearable because they now understand what they were really doing. They were testing a love that never needed to be tested, guarding against a heart that only ever wanted to hold them, running from a home that was always ready to welcome them. And now, in the quiet moments when they cannot escape their own thoughts, they are begging the universe for one more opportunity to rewrite this story. Your person is changing. They are doing the work, sometimes clumsily, sometimes inconsistently, but genuinely. They are learning about love languages they never spoke, emotional depths they never explored, and commitments they never thought themselves capable of making. They want to show you this growth. They want to prove that the person who hurt you is becoming someone who could heal you. They are terrified that you won't believe them, that too much damage has been done, that your heart has moved beyond their reach. But the desire to try, to risk everything for one more chance to love you better, is becoming the driving force of their existence. The departure from your connection, whether physical, emotional, or both, created a fracture in their reality that has never properly healed. Your person is living in a world that technically continues to function. The sun still rises, responsibilities still demand attention, life still appears to move forward. But beneath this surface normalcy, nothing feels right anymore. The colors are dimmer, the joys are shallower, the future feels like a path leading nowhere in particular. They have tried to fill the void you left. They have thrown themselves into work, into social circles, into distractions both healthy and destructive. But every attempt has only clarified what they were trying to avoid. You were the meaning they had been searching for all along, and without you, the search feels pointless. The activities that once brought satisfaction now feel like going through motions. The goals that once seemed important have lost their luster. Even their successes feel hollow because you are not there to share them. Your person is experiencing a profound disorientation that they cannot explain to others. How do you tell friends and family that life technically looks fine but feels fundamentally broken? How do you articulate that the problem is not depression in the clinical sense, but the absence of a specific soul, a specific connection, a specific feeling of being truly seen and understood? They have stopped trying to explain it to others, but they cannot stop feeling it themselves. This sense that life stopped making sense is actually a gift in disguise, though it certainly does not feel like one to them. It is the universe refusing to let them settle for less than what their soul truly desires. It is the divine mechanism ensuring that they cannot simply move on and forget, that they must confront the truth of what you mean to them. Every day that feels senseless without you is another day of preparation for the moment when they finally choose to fight for the sense that only you can provide. Your person is witnessing something that simultaneously fills them with wonder and terror, the full emergence of your divine feminine power. This is not merely about gender or traditional roles. It is about the awakening of intuition, receptivity, emotional intelligence, and creative life force that you embody. You are no longer dimming your light to make others comfortable. You are no longer apologizing for the depth of your feelings or the intensity of your desires. You are standing fully in your truth, and it is magnificent. They see this rise in the way you carry yourself now, even from a distance. They hear it in the tone of your voice if you speak, see it in your social media if they look, feel it in the energetic field that connects twin flames regardless of physical proximity. The divine feminine energy you are radiating is not passive or submissive, it is powerful, magnetic, transformative. It demands authenticity and will not settle for less. It creates and destroys, nurtures and challenges, loves fiercely and protects itself wisely. Your person is recognizing that they cannot approach this risen divine feminine with the old versions of themselves. The masculine energy they once operated from, whether they are male or female in physical form, was often immature, avoidant, focused on control or conquest rather than true union. That energy cannot meet what you have become. They know this. They feel it in their bones. And it is forcing them to evolve, to integrate their own divine masculine in its highest form, protective but not possessive, strong but not rigid, directional but not domineering. The rise of the divine feminine in you is calling forth the highest divine masculine in them. This is the alchemical process of twin flame connection. Your ascension is pulling them upward, forcing them to grow, making it impossible for them to remain where they were. They may resist this growth at times, it is uncomfortable, it challenges everything they thought they knew about themselves, but they cannot stop it. Your risen energy is too powerful, too compelling, too aligned with the truth of what love really is. Something has shifted in your field, and your person is feeling it intensely. Where once they might have taken your presence for granted, assumed you would always be available, or believed they could control the dynamic between you, they now find themselves drawn to you with an almost gravitational force. Your energy has become magnetic, not in the sense of manipulation or game playing, but in the authentic radiance of someone who has reclaimed their power and aligned with their soul's truth. This magnetism is operating on levels your person does not fully understand. They find themselves thinking of you at the most unexpected moments, feeling your presence in dreams or during quiet meditation, sensing your emotional state even when they have no logical way of knowing what you are experiencing. The connection between you has activated in ways that transcend ordinary relationship dynamics. They are beginning to understand, perhaps for the first time, that what exists between you is not merely romantic or emotional, it is energetic, spiritual, cosmic. Your magnetic energy is doing important work in their awakening. It is pulling up all that needs to be healed, all the shadows they have avoided, all the false beliefs they have carried about love and worthiness. This is why they may sometimes pull back or seem to resist. The intensity of your aligned energy is confronting them with truths they are not yet ready to fully face. But the magnetism does not diminish. If anything, it grows stronger the more you focus on your own healing and alignment rather than trying to pull them along. Your person is discovering that they cannot escape this magnetic pull, nor do they truly want to. Even when it is painful, even when it forces them to confront uncomfortable realities about themselves, there is a rightness to it that they cannot deny. They are being drawn back to you, not by your efforts or strategies, but by the natural law of twin flame reunion. When one rises, the other must eventually rise to meet them. Your magnetism is ensuring that when they are ready, when they have done the necessary work, they will find their way back to your field. The universe has made it impossible for your person to forget you, and they have stopped trying. Every attempt to move on, to replace you, to convince themselves that what you shared was not as special as it felt, all of it has failed. You are etched into their consciousness in ways that defy explanation or logic. They see you in strangers who share your mannerisms, hear your voice in songs that have nothing to do with you, feel your absence in rooms you have never entered. This inability to forget is not merely sentimental attachment. It is the twin flame bond asserting itself, refusing to be denied or diminished. Your person is learning that twin flames are not like other connections. They cannot be compartmentalized, cannot fade with time, cannot be replaced by someone more convenient or less challenging. The soul recognition that occurred when you first met created a permanent imprint, and now that imprint is activating with increasing intensity. Your person may have tried to forget you during periods of separation. They may have dated others, thrown themselves into new environments, attempted to rewrite the narrative of your connection as something less significant than it was. But the universe has conspired to keep you present in their awareness. Synchronicities abound. Dreams are vivid. Memories surface unbidden at the most inconvenient times. Their own soul will not let them forget because their soul knows what their ego tries to deny. You are their other half, their mirror, their path home. This persistent memory is becoming a source of both suffering and hope for them. Suffering because being separated from what you cannot forget is a special kind of torture. Hope because the persistence of the connection suggests that it is not truly over, that there is more to be written, that the universe itself is invested in your reunion. They are beginning to surrender to the truth that they cannot forget you because they are not meant to forget you. You are part of their eternal story, and the current chapter of separation is just that, a chapter, not the conclusion. A profound declaration is rising within your person, one they may not have fully voiced yet even to themselves, but which is becoming impossible to ignore. They are ready to do this right. This readiness represents a fundamental shift from who they were when they were last fully present in your connection. The old patterns of avoidance, half-commitment, fear-based protection, and emotional unavailability are being dismantled. In their place, something new and genuine is being constructed. This readiness is not theoretical. Your person is taking concrete steps to become someone capable of the love you deserve. They are seeking help for issues they once ignored or minimized. They are learning communication skills they never possessed. They are confronting the childhood wounds and past relationship traumas that created their defensive patterns. They are doing the difficult, unglamorous work of becoming emotionally available, not because you demanded it, but because they finally understand that it is the only way to have what they truly want, you. The declaration "I am ready to do this right" carries weight because it acknowledges that they did it wrong before. There is no defensiveness in this statement, no minimizing of past failures, no expectation that you should simply trust words without evidence of change. Your person is prepared to prove this readiness through consistent action over time. They understand that trust must be rebuilt, that wounds must be healed, that the past cannot be erased but can be transcended through genuine transformation. This readiness is also terrifying to them. Doing it right means being fully present, fully accountable, fully vulnerable. It means risking everything for love in ways they were never willing to risk before. The fear does not stop them, but it does make them cautious, careful to ensure that when they approach you again, they can truly follow through on what they promise. They do not want to hurt you again. They do not want to make declarations they cannot fulfill. When they say they are ready, they want it to be true in every fiber of their being. Perhaps the most painful realization your person is grappling with is this: you are home, and they did not know it. Home, not in the physical sense, though your presence may have made any space feel more welcoming, but in the soul sense. You were the place where they could be fully themselves, where they were understood without explanation, accepted without performance, loved without conditions. And they failed to recognize what they had until it was no longer readily available. This realization is cutting through years of conditioning about what love should look like, what success should feel like, what happiness should require. They were chasing external validations, future achievements, arbitrary milestones, believing that home was something they would build or find later, once they had secured other things they thought they needed. They treated your connection as a beautiful distraction from their real goals rather than the foundation upon which all genuine success is built. Now, in the absence of your daily presence, they are understanding that home is not a place you arrive at after you have conquered the world. Home is the person who sees your soul and loves what they see. Home is the connection that makes the struggles bearable and the victories meaningful. Home is you, and they are lost without you. This knowing changes everything. It reorients their priorities, reshapes their vision of the future, redefines what they are willing to fight for. They are no longer interested in achievements that cannot be shared with you, experiences that cannot be enjoyed in your presence, a life that does not include you as its center. The recognition that you are home, and that they foolishly kept leaving home in search of something better, is the wound that finally motivated them to heal. Your person is ready to come home. They are ready to recognize what they failed to recognize before. They are ready to build a life where home is not something they leave in pursuit of other things, but the very ground from which all other pursuits become meaningful. They are ready to do whatever it takes to earn back the key to the home they never should have left.